'Tis the season to tip 'em back. It is a holiday. We got New Year's Eve coming up. A lot of people will be going out on New Year's Eve. And who's going to be out there as well? Well, the cops will be out there and looking for people who were drunk driving. With us today on the show, we have Top Gun DUI defense attorney Myles L. Berman. He's been a big supporter of the Heidi and Frank show for a very long time. It's great to have him on. We're going to take your calls. If you have any calls or any questions about DUI, if you've had them, if you're...
Crowd loves this guy.
I know, look at that.
Good Lord.
That's the first time.
Good job, guys.
That's the first time they've clapped all show.
Yeah.
I've had some zingers.
It's 2.5 hours in, and Myles gets the standing out.
Let's go to Tim on line one. Hello, Tim.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
We're good.
Say hello to Myles.
Hey, Myles.
How you doing, Tim?
Pretty good.
What's your question?
Thanks for taking my call. This was a few years back. In 2008, I was still living in Santa Barbara, and I was coming home late from a friend's house after the bars closed, and I was bicycling home, and got pulled over. I refused to do any of the sobriety tests on the street there, so they wrote me a ticket for a BUI. And not having a light.
Did you say
on my bike.
BUI?
You can get a BUI?
Yeah, bicycling under the influence.
Yeah, I followed that.
It also stands for boating under the influence, too, but in his case, bicycling.
Okay. Yeah, so...
what were you doing wrong that they pulled you over, Tim? Was it the whole no light thing that they originally...
That's probably what attracted them. It might have been me going the wrong way up a one-way street.
Were you in downtown Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
And is during the school year?
No, it was summertime. I was 24
Summer school.
years old. But it was 3 in the morning, so the place was a ghost town. So anyway, they were nice enough to put my bike in the trunk and drive me home, drop me off. Anyway, short story long.
Too late.
They were supposed to mail me. They were supposed to mail me something. I never received anything. I guess I didn't. I failed to appear in court. And just this last month, my driver's license needed to be renewed, and I couldn't do that until I got this little issue cleared. So I'm due in court up there next week. I'm wondering if there's any advice you can give me.
Sure. Call 888-4-TOP-GUN, and we'll be live after 8:30. You obviously need to fight the case and see what you can do to avoid a conviction. I mean, you have that right. Everybody has a right to defend themselves, and they should defend themselves and not throw themselves at the mercy of the court. So, I don't know, did you take any kind of breath test or what?
No, I refused all that
okay.
In the field. So, they.
And that's what you're supposed to do, right, Myles? Refuse the breath test, refuse the field sobriety?
Well, we talked about earlier what you don't have to say, but what you do have to identify yourself. When you're asked to take a portable breath test before a person is arrested, and if you're older than 21, absolutely refuse it. You have the right to refuse. They're supposed to tell you have the right to refuse, so you should refuse that test. After you're arrested, then you have a choice of a breath or a blood test. So as we talked a little bit earlier, there's a lot of inaccuracies with breath testing. So a person can make a decision whether or not they would want to take that test or they want to take a blood test.
But if you're under 21,
I'll take a blood test, spice the extra celery.
Yeah, 3 olives.
Not a Bloody Mary test, a blood test.
Now, if you're under 21, you don't have any of those, right?
Yeah, and if you're under, it's zero tolerance. So if you're under 21, you have to take
You have to. I mean,
a portable breath test.
Tim, were you 21? Were you over the legal?
No, I was 24, and after the refusal, I was actually never arrested. They didn't put me in handcuffs. They didn't read me my rights.
You actually were. You were. That's considered an arrest when they cited you. And usually, people who get stopped and arrested for DUI, they're put in cuffs or brought to the station. But sometimes it happens where they're released right there on the scene. They
drove you home.
Right.
Yeah.
They put your bike in their trunk.
Yeah.
Was it a small bike or a really big trunk?
And
It's a beach cruiser.
you're really you're really lucky though that your license has been suspended since 2008. Because you didn't appear in court, or 2009, whenever you had to go to court. So you're really lucky that you didn't get stopped between then and the time.
Because then there'd been there's a warrant out for your arrest.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The only way you could have avoided that is have those really old time bikes with a giant wheel in the front and the small
tiny little wheel in the back.
Yeah.
Just drove by. It's like that guy can't be drunk.
Right. There's no way you can't ride those things.
Thank you so much, Tim. Let's take some more calls for Myles L. Berman, the Top Gun DUI defense attorney. Let's go to Dave on line 5. Hello, Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
You're on
good.
with Myles.
You guys rock. Hey, listen, I just wanted to make sure everybody knows, unless I'm mistaken, but even if you blow a .06, you can still be cited, right?
Myles?
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, I've seen people prosecuted as low as a .03. Now, the .08 level is...
That was a drunk baby.
No kid. What the heck?
Yeah,
.03.
no, this was yeah. And he was arrested. He was cited, and then when we went to court, the prosecutor said he shouldn't be drinking and driving. Well, we ended up, the charges were dismissed. But the bottom line is that law enforcement and prosecutors are very aggressive on these cases, and so being prosecuted for a .06 wouldn't be unusual, or a .07. Because you have 2 charges when you're arrested for DUI, and there's a chemical test, or a breath test, or a blood test. Driving under the influence of alcohol and driving with a .08 or greater. Now, think about it logically. If a person refuses a breath test, so they don't have a result, but they still get prosecuted for DUI even without a result. So people don't usually connect those two, but once you hear that, then you realize that, they can prosecute you even under a .08. So just because they don't have a .08 or greater doesn't mean that you're not going to be prosecuted.
If there's a smidge, if there's a hint in your system, you can still be prosecuted.
Yeah,
So-
now whether being convicted, that's a whole different ball game.
But do you want to go through that whole thing?
No.
I mean, seriously.
But that could go back to you drinking that one beer, stopping by a buddy's house,
thanks for reminding me.
stopping by your buddy's house, having a beer, dropping something off, and then going, all right, take care, I'm heading home. And you're like, I had one beer.
And I probably instantly had that beer. It's
Right.
Like saying if it's like a buddy's house and he pulls out a cold one and we sit there and chit chat while we drink the beers, and I hop in my car and I go around the block and get pulled over.
Right.
I just drank that beer.
Yeah, you're not drunk, and you had one beer.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's a common mistake for people to think that if they're under a .08 that they wait to go to court. The best thing to do is, of course, call 888-4-TOP-GUN.
Yeah.
But get a lawyer, hire a DUI lawyer as soon as you possibly can. Even sometimes under a .08, the police take steps and notify the DMV, even though they shouldn't, that the person was arrested, which could trigger a potential suspension, either a 4-month
And insurance probably goes.
These cases could be a nightmare. People have a lot to lose.
How long does it stay on your record?
Now it's 10 years.
Don't worry, yours is dropped off.
Has mine dropped off yet, Myles?
He's not at liberty to speak about the case. And,
we talk about it, or you talk about it. I don't talk about it. So
That's why he's great. I love it.
I know.
I don't
Your
know
secrets
what
are safe with
I
Myles
don't know what
Elder.
you're referring to.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Now, did I dream this? I don't know, physiology-wise. Did I dream that that you can only hold, like if you have a full bladder, that you can't absorb any more alcohol into your system? Like, and then if you pee, then that's when you can start absorbing alcohol again. Is that physiology? Does it work like that?
What is this, Dr. Berman now?
Well, I'm saying he knows the ins and outs of all.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, I don't know if I dreamt that, heard that it's like, at some point when you have to go, where you're like,
It hurts,
in the movies, and it's a long movie, and you've had the giant drink,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like, I'm going to sit here and force it. And it's like, oh, you start hurting. That you're not absorbing any alcohol because your body can't. Because it can't produce any more waste.
You know, it's interesting. On the other hand, if your bladder is full of beer, I don't know if I would necessarily can help you. But
when I'm in there filling up pitchers in their sample pea cup.
No, it's.
Sir, you haven't been drinking then? No.
It looks like Oktoberfest when I walk out with these 8 pitchers
I didn't know
in
how
my
much
hands
you
of
guys
urine.
needed.
There
Yeah,
you go. Hadn't been drinking, kind of dehydrated.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, and but
I might have dreamt that. Who knows?
Well, I'm sure you dreamt it.
I don't know. I'm
but
drunk right now.
I haven't.
Keep his number handy.
I certainly didn't dream it. I heard it.
Thank you for coming in, Myles. Top Gun DUI defense attorney. If well, write this number down. Not if you need it. You may need it, and hopefully you never will. But if you do, 888-4-TOP-GUN. number 4, TOPGUN, Myles L. Berman. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, and it's great to see you guys
You
here.
too.
And
Oh my God,
you're
we're
doing
so
a great
happy.
show, and I've been listening since I think September 4th.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Thanks, Myles.
many years to come, and the audience is very lucky, and LA is very lucky to have you guys.
Aw,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Myles.
You'll have to come
Right
back
at
on
you.
it. What is the next big drinking holiday after this holiday season? Is it...
Well, Valentine's
Well,
Day, a lot of depressed
there's
drinking.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, there we go.
There's,
St. Patrick's Day.
There's
Then,
the first Wednesday of the new year.
Sure. Then there's in May. There's what? There's Memorial Day, right? In May.
Yeah,
So we got St.
you have to come back then. So we're thinking about maybe doing a drinking show.
Well, thank you. That'd
Okay.
be great.
Have the cops in here.
Really see what it's like to have like 1-2 beers and see what we blow and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that'd be great. Cops, we get along very well with cops.
we'll do that
So,
again.
Thanks, Myles.
Thank you so much. 1-800-955-5567. In the half hour, Rowdy Ronda Rousey's going to be inside the studio, sitting right there where Myles sitting right now. The female champion UFC going to happen at the Honda Center. I have a pair of tickets to give away to. I think I'll give them away when she's on the show. Have her pick somebody to give them away to. That'd be awesome. And one lucky person who wins those tickets during this week will end up going to the fight with me. Can you imagine, Myles, hanging out with me for an entire
Again,
night?
keep his number handy.
That'd be great.
We'll keep his number handy. All right, we'll be right back. We are Heidi and Frank.
That was just a little sample of the Heidi and Frank Show on 95.5 KLOS. To get more samples like this and hear all the fun we have, you can do that at 955KLOS.com. Now, to get the show in its entirety on demand, and if you want to watch the show, we webcast it every day, all you have to do is go to HeidiandFrank.com and become a premium package member. Do it right now.